my life with my kids. That's the only goal I have at this point. Every day when I wake up, it's just feels like I'm reliving a nightmare of May 2nd.
Hey,
But the main feelings of from sadness have just turned to anger because there's no evidence at all as of after 1 month, and it's really taken a toll.
Since May 2nd, when Lily and Jack went missing, people here in Pictou County are still struggling to understand what happened and why there are still no answers.
I know that they're working hard and they're using every resource they can.
So I don't like to think about it, but my parents are getting older. My dad was just talking to me the other day about filing his first tax.
Based on details gathered so far, we have confirmed that Lily and Jack were observed in public with family members on the afternoon of May 1st.
May 1st, 2025, New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. Roughly 30 knowledge.
The search for the missing Sullivan siblings, Lily and Jack, will resume in the morning. Police announced they'll be joined by ground search and rescue teams to once again head into wooded areas. They're going to focus specifically on areas around Garlick Road and the nearline Pipeline Trail near the family's home. It's also where a boot print was found in earlier searches.
The location, a narrow stretch of forest along Garlock Road and the adjacent pipeline corridor, a place already combed weeks before, a place
that
where something
boot print that they're talking about,
sight, but never fully explained. Tiny footprints.
There's only
the clue.
One print.
According to Daniel Martell,
There's not
was spotted
more
near
like
the
walking.
home in the early
There's only
days,
like
and
one set of
another
prints.
more isolated
You see what I'm saying?
near the pipeline itself.
But behind it,
For
there
weeks,
is no big
the public
footprint.
wondered if those prints were real, if they belonged
So
to Lily
if
or
they
Jack,
travel
or
that,
if they were simply part of the
searching,
forest.
why
of
wouldn't
many
their
false
footprint
prophets.
be on there too?
The renewed search wasn't
Yeah,
framed as a rescue mission.
Just
Not anymore.
one set of footprints.
The language
That's it.
had changed. Carefully, deliberately. Officials
Yeah.
didn't speak of hope. They spoke of containment,
That
recovery.
don't make sense to me.
It don't.
I wouldn't say I'm no expert tracker, but I guarantee you I can find my way. I've done it for years. That, but the only thing showing up is that one set of footprints for that kid. I think it was Lily's. But there's no adult prints around. If he did what he said he did, he went out looking. Why wouldn't his footprint be there too?
I don't know.
Said that he was ahead of the helicopter, ahead of all the search.
That don't make sense.
Hey,
Judy.
Judy. With just one track, one set of footprints, not a track. I didn't mean to say that.
Yeah.
Just one set of footprints, and it being hers. Then everything he has said ain't been worth 15 cents because there ain't no track of him nowhere. That ain't. He's not thinking. Judy says, "Hey, love."
Hey, Judy. Peekaboo.
That's just crazy.
Evident. And though no one dared say it outright, the implication hung heavy in the air. They weren't expecting to find the children alive. The pipeline corridor had always been an eerie thread in the geography of this case. A narrow trail shielded by thick brush, far too easy to access and far too easy to hide within. That investigators chose to return there says more than any press conference ever could. It suggests
When they decided to go back and restart at the house and work back out, that's when they found the clothes and the footprint. Well, how come he don't have a print there? And where they're showing is muddy. Hey, Sabina.
Unless he did, but he covered his own tracks.
I bet he stayed in the grass, took that boot, set it down and pressed it into that mud. That way there was no tracks of him.
Probably.
Then could have used a rake or anything to backtrack his trail, going back to the trailer.
Hey, Donna. Hey, Sabina.
Hey, love. Hey, Donna. Big
And hey, back.
Sabina.
Peekaboo.
How y'all doing today? Come on.
It looks like I'm playing peekaboo today.
I tell you what, we're doing something today that I ain't done in a long time. And I wanted to hang some clothes out. So I went out there and we hung a line up, 2 lines, as a matter of fact, and hung our clothes out and everything.
Oh my god.
I'm telling y'all what's true. I went out there and gathered them up and brought them back in the house. And she's like, "Well, where's my
I was
pants
folding
at?"
them and then I couldn't find my pants.
Yeah, she said, "Where's my pants?" I said, "They should be right there." I laid them all on the couch.
Mm-mm.
Everything was there but her pants. So I walked around the house to see if maybe a dog grabbed a hold of it and drug them off somewhere. But they hadn't. So now apparently we have a pants thief running around here.
Mhm.
It's pathetic. You gotta set up a cam to hang out clothes. Ain't that daggum shame?
A pants thief.
Well, everything else was there but your pants.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd think people would be going to take something useful. It'd be a pair of socks or shirt,
Yeah.
8 piece.
Mhm.
Hey, love. Hope you rest well.
Sleep well.
That the
That's
theory
good.
of abduction,
That's correct.
once tentatively offered, may now be quietly fallen away. What remains is a theory grounded in proximity, in concealment, in the devastating possibility that the children never left this place at all. And yet the question remains, if these footprints were real, if this area held even the slightest promise of answers, why wait nearly a month to act? Why now and not then? The RCMP asks the public to keep their distance, not because they're afraid of interference, but because they need precision. Every blade of grass might matter, every inch of soil could hold the truth, and in that truth lies the most painful possibility of all, that the final pieces of this puzzle have been here the entire time, hidden not by malice, but by the devastating oversight of human error.
Exactly.
All right, Brad.
He couldn't have said it no better.
Todd, the stepfather tells me that despite major crimes being involved, he's been told that this investigation is being treated as a missing persons case. He also insists that he's been cooperating with the police, including providing a polygraph test, which he did, and he says he passed.
You mentioned last time we chatted that you'd offered to do a polygraph test.
That is correct.
Has that already happened?
That has happened.
Right. And did you get results from that yet?
I did results, and I don't know if I can share those results, but they were good in my favor. We'll say that.
On paper, Daniel Martell did all the right things. He gave interviews, handed over his phone, sat for hours of questioning with major crimes detectives, and told the world repeatedly that he had nothing to hide. He even claimed to have taken and passed a polygraph test. But in high-profile disappearances, especially those involving young children, doing the right thing isn't always what it seems. The first red flag came not from what Daniel did, but from what no one else confirmed. While he told reporters that he had passed a lie detector test, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the very agency leading the investigation, refused to say a word about it. No public statement, no independent verification, no formal documentation, and in cases like this, silence can be deafening. It raised an uncomfortable question. Was this test ever conducted by law enforcement at all? Or did Daniel, in a calculated move, hire a private firm, collect a favorable result, and present it to the world as if it carried official weight?
He couldn't do that. Remember, he only just works 1 day a week.
RCMP's refusal to confirm the test only deepened the suspicion. After all,
I don't know.
if Daniel was innocent,
Even
if
if he
the
did, that don't mean
polygraph
he's
was
innocent.
legitimate
And it will not hold up in
conducted under
court.
proper oversight, why not release the results? Why not silence the critics with proof? Unless, of course, the point was never about truth. It was about time, about
I've never, ever seen a case to where if somebody did a polygraph, they wouldn't put the results out to the public. That don't make sense. Yeah, it's very iffy. But it wouldn't make no difference. He may know how to do a polygraph, but that it wouldn't hold up in court no matter how many he did. But not being put out to the public. I would think if he took one, it would definitely be already out there for people to see what he did. Yeah.
And days, weeks, even months of public sympathy before the cracks started to widen. Because here's the unsettling truth. Lie detectors aren't foolproof. Bundy passed one.
Yeah.
So,
but now they refrigerators and, freezers and all that stuff, but they didn't have nothing to do with it.
articulate and adept at gaming the system. Polygraphs measure physiological responses, not morality. And the best liars don't break a sweat when they tell a lie, because in their minds, it's not a lie at all. If that was the strategy, it worked, at least temporarily. Headlines picked up the claim.
You probably hit it right on the head, D. They're probably just setting him up for the goodies. That's exactly the way law works. They'll make him think that his side is doing just fine until it all starts crumbling down. But apparently he just he ain't thinking of the whole thing here. Yeah.
Social media users debated the implications. Some believed him, others weren't so sure, but one thing became clear. For Daniel Martell, perception mattered, and controlling the narrative seemed just as important as finding the children. He said he heard the sliding glass door open that morning, that the children must have slept.
Now, wait a minute. He said they didn't hear no racket. The only thing he remembered was hearing the children a little bit. But they couldn't have did that because the back door wouldn't work. The screen door wouldn't work. That's 3 different times he's changed his tale on that. Yeah, they can to get them to talk and fall all to pieces. Yeah.
Slipped out while he was still inside, that he began searching immediately. But the sequence of events, like so much else in this case, remained oddly vague. There were no timestamps, no neighbors confirming a commotion, no indication from search dogs that the children had traveled far from the property. And that word, story, is one Daniel used himself. In interviews, he didn't speak of a tragedy or a crisis. He referred to the disappearance as this story, as something to be maintained, prolonged, kept alive. Not a desperate search for 2 missing children, but a narrative, a twisted.
They want it to linger until all search parties get tired of doing anything. Then they think it'll be an ongoing thing. It'll just turn over to a cold case and nobody will say anything about it anymore.
Distance that experts in forensic psychology warn about. Because when language shifts from factual to abstract, it often signals a need to protect oneself, not a need to find the truth. Compare that with parents who have faced similar horror and been cleared of suspicion. Take Seth Rogers, whose toddler son vanished from their backyard. In every appearance, Seth was raw, distraught, angry. He shouted, he cried, he begged for help. His pain was visible and unpredictable, just like real grief often is. Daniel, by contrast, was calm, controlled, almost rehearsed. There were no visible cracks in the facade, and that, paradoxically, is what made it so unsettling. Yes, Daniel joined search parties. Yes, he spoke to the media. Yes, he expressed hope. But his focus, again and again, returned not to the children, not to their voices or their favorite toys or the kind of help he needed from the public. It returned to the optics, to keeping the story alive. And the public watching closely began to wonder, was this a father figure in crisis or a man performing a role? And so the questions kept coming. Why not release the polygraph results? Why refer to a disappearance as a story? Why appear so composed, so focused on the media?
If he was so in depth with that lie detector test, hey, Connie, why would he not want to get that out to the public?
Exactly.
I mean, he'd been on that the whole time. We'll just give me a lie detector test. If he was that anxious about it, he would want to get it out to the public. There's no authority going to tell you can't tell people that you passed the polygraph.
Yeah.
That ain't hindering anything. That'd just be that's his tale. I'm sitting on mine. It's like he said just a minute ago, it still ain't gonna make him look good, no matter what. But he was so adamant about doing it. Well, why don't you go ahead and just tell everybody and let it get out? He said, I don't know if I'm supposed to tell. The heck you ain't. You want to try to make yourself look good, you'd tell it. No.
Instead of the children themselves.
Liberty. Liberty Mutual. All she talks about since we.
I like that commercial. The length one acting like a 2-year-old baby.
When a child goes missing, every second matters, and every voice counts, especially the voice of a mother.
Yeah.
But in the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan, the loudest question came from someone who said nothing at all. Just one day after reporting her 2 young children missing, Malahia Brooks Murray, mother to 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack, left the area. On May 3rd, she gathered her infant.
I mean, does common sense not work here? I mean,
For real.
She left before the heat really get on. If that's not saying, hey, okay, I know what went on, why would she have did that bold move? If she thought that would cover for her, just to get out of it, she didn't want to hear it, didn't want to see it. Same thing they said before. They'll never see us again. That doggone, because all that did was show how guilty they are, especially on her part. You know what I mean?
He said, wasn't his clothes wet?
Well, I have no idea. I have no idea. But during the case of trying to find your and run off, I mean, that's the same thing they did to Summers and Lynn and everybody else. Try to run off, Sebastian and all of them. And don't do nothing but make you look bad. Why not stay there and if it was a true fact, fight to get. Now she's done went and messed everything up. Yeah. So it wouldn't make a damn if he did a million polygraph tests. What he has done and what she's done by the silence, that's what he's talking about right here. Silence is key. Her leaving, cutting out. If she did not know what happened to them children, she would still be there. Look, so, hey, I want to know where my children are. That's common sense. But with her leaving, that tells everything everybody needs to know. That she knows what went on, but don't want to say nothing. She knows what happened. And just don't want to hear nothing, see nothing, be involved in any of it. But that won't work. Yeah. Yeah. A mother that really and truly don't know what had happened, she's not going to leave that area. She's going to be like, I don't give a damn if we got search crews or not. I'm going to go find my child. That's common sense. But to leave and turn her family against his, and he turned his family against her, no. If that's the way the authorities is up there, they need to just go home. Be like an ostrich or something, hide your head under the ground and get in some new people that's got some common sense. Because they're putting on a show, okay, and the public is just eating it up. And that's what don't need to happen. They're going to try to let this thing go again, just like they have these other children. Maybe. I don't know. Hey, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that's Kathy Riviera.
Mm-hmm.
Daughter and vanished from public view. No press conference, no televised plea, no appearance at search sites. She didn't fade away slowly.
No.
She disappeared completely.
Despite
Does that not tell you that she knows something? I mean, how many times we got to keep closing this case?
Mm-hmm.
She's just up and gone. Hey, Angela.
Angela.
He is right when he says silence tells everything. I mean, there would no mother do that other than a psychotic one. But everything so far has been that we've heard through the spirit box is no good mother and anger. That's all we're hearing. Angry. All the time. Angry. He ain't getting to work but one day a week. That ain't bringing in no money. So he's got to be doing something to bring in some money, if you know what I mean. That was mentioned on the spirit box of what is being done. She just know that she'd be too deep in it and want it out. And it's not going her favorite way. And like I said, he could take 1 million polygraphs, but he just ain't going to be believed. No.
Not having had contact with the children's mother, Malaya, since May 3rd when she left the search area, he says an RCMP liaison has been assigned to keep them both.
See, they said May 1st. Now, remember this right here. They said May 1st. They were seen with family on May 1st. You remember hearing that? I do too, distinctly. She just said that the mother left on the 3rd. So what happened the night of the 1st? Why are we not hearing nothing about that? That's the gap. No. That's right. That's right, Beck. Now, okay, supposedly your kid goes missing on the 1st that evening, maybe. Okay, which they claimed that they were seen. We still don't see no evidence of that, but they say that they were seen in public with some family. All right, her leaving on the 3rd. That tells me she don't care nothing about her children. She don't care nothing about him, and she really don't care nothing about herself. And if her family turns against her, she ain't gonna have no use for them either. She's the devil in disguise, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just telling you right now. That girl knows what's going on. Now, they can say all they want to that they seen the kids on the 1st with a family out in public. Until they can put that out to the public and let people see it, nobody's gonna believe it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just hearsay, here nor there, and I ain't gonna hold my breath on seeing that either. These kids were missing before that.
Informed as the investigation progresses.
Behind the scenes, she cut ties. She deleted Daniel Martell from social media, changed her relationship status, retained a lawyer, and while RC later confirmed she remained in contact with investigators, she refused to speak publicly. Not one.
Who would not speak on the behalf of their own children?
For real.
Again, I'm gonna sound like a record here. She don't care about them children. I got it right there. Proof's in the pudding. She was no good mother. Always angry. He was always angry. She'll even turn against her own people. Let one little side word come out, and she will move again, and she'll never have nothing to do with her family. It's the devil in disguise, I'm telling you. You won't go through all that mess for nothing. Now, I can't say that she did it. I can't say that he did it. But both of them's involved. And what I believe
There's two side stories.
What I believe is she knows what happened. Or if she did the final act or not, I've done said that. I don't know that part. But she knows what he's capable of. She knows his anger. He knows her anger. And you're not going to leave and cut all ties like that unless you feel that, okay, if I slip up, I'm going to end up dead. And that may be the way she felt. Maybe she's afraid of him. That's a possibility. But she would not have left during this crisis over your own children without knowing something. Yeah. And the baby's done said it 1,000 times. I mean, they were both angry all the time. Okay. Pillow. Mom was not nice. Angry. Even toward him, they're saying maniac. Words like that, maniac. And that's the female that was speaking for the children. Dadgummit.
That silence sent shock waves through the community because in cases like this, parents are expected to be front and center, begging for help, clinging to hope, pleading for answers. But Malaya didn't just remove herself from the spotlight. She created a vacuum. And in that vacuum...
So I'm seeing right here 4 children. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, she's holding the least one. And then there's 2. And then there's Jack. And then 1 more. That's 4.
Suspicion grew. Was she told to stay silent by law enforcement?
No.
Or was there something else, something deeper she didn't want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Even her family stepped back. Observers noticed the emotional.
Yeah. Well, they want things to blow up for publicity. Hey, Paula.
Paula wants cracker.
It brings in new people to the county. Businesses get more attention, all this crap, and it don't need to be that. Like Summer's case, a lot of people around the world has went into town over there, gave more business in town. That's what they want. I mean, that's just the bold truth. They like it when people come. It's just more money for the town. It's a sad fact, but it's true.
Gap. No united front, no support for Daniel. Instead, what emerged was distance and quiet. And in that quiet, people began to whisper. Was there conflict, blame, something unspoken between the two adults who were supposed to be the children's protectors? Some speculated Daniel had been blamed, either for negligence or worse. Others wondered if something more personal had happened, a fight, a fracture, maybe even violence. Whatever it was enough for Malaya to not only walk away, but never look back. And that's what haunts people most.
You know what I think? I mean, don't quote me on it, but I think that they've had an argument, either from what he's doing or either from what she's doing. There could have been some jealousy in there. Okay. And then things went south from there. And the ones that took the bowl of the thing was the children. And then when that happened, she cut out. I mean, that's a logic, right? I mean, if one or the other were jealous, and it got to being physical, and one of them snapped and something happened, I mean, then if she cut out, I mean, that would be more understanding than just cutting out on your children. Hey, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy.
So, no, they don't. I think something went south between the two. That's true. That's true. It could have been from drugs. It could have been from another boy or another girl. I mean, there was some jealousy in there somewhere. I mean,
it could be from anything.
Really. Most separations is money or drugs. If you cut somebody off your drug line, they better get out. They're gonna find somewhere else to go. Money. If they're always in a panic, never knowing how they're gonna pay a bill or this, that, and that. All that can cause somebody to want to just say, hey, throw their hands up and be done with it. Jealousy with another girl or another guy can lead into death.
Oh, yeah.
And people nowadays, good and doggone well, you get caught cheating nowadays, you're going to be found up in a ditch somewhere. That's just reality. It's cold, but that's the truth. And maybe she cut out, just to prevent that. But knowing what happened to the children. But now we don't know which one could have did it. I can't throw her under the bus without throwing him under the bus. Them was the only two that was responsible for them children. Maybe who knows? Maybe she had more temper than he did. But there's a reason why he's acting like he's acting. He won't hold still. He won't look in the camera. I guarantee you, if they could get her to talk right now, she would stand still. But every time the camera's put on him, he cannot stand still. I've got in paperwork right here of what the female said to children, of what he does on the side to make money. All the facts are here. Just need to put it together. Who caused what? And where is the children? they need to stop all this mess and just be like, okay, look, hey, y'all both go into the jailhouse. When y'all tell us, just work it like they're going to have to be stuck in the jailhouse the rest of their life. They'd start talking. Either die in the jailhouse, whichever one they want to do. But I would think that mother would tell on him. It's just something telling me that she knows it. Yeah, they told, but start with, he was in the jailhouse when they started. And then he come home with, matter of fact, he come home, I think, on the second with a ankle bracelet. So he didn't have no dog in the hunt. So it's just Daniel and her.
Because a mother's silence isn't just absence, it's a signal.
Yeah.
And in a case this fragile, that signal matters. Malahia's refusal to speak stands in stark contrast to the behavior of other grieving parents. And in comparison, it raises painful questions. Why leave so soon after the children vanished? Why go silent in a moment that demands every voice? If she's innocent, if she truly wants her children home, why hasn't she said their name since May 3rd?
Every day, almost, I go by the RCMP, and it's just so tragic. You know, I just feel so bad for their whole family. I'm
You know, everybody, especially there, everybody's got that feeling. They're putting out little teddy bears and toys and stuff and putting up a sign for Jack and Lily. Yeah. Hearts, this and that and other. Every person that has laid something down has that feeling in their gut. Mm. There's no way that these searchers and authorities don't feel the same way. You know they have to. It's just being human. And he's right. With her silence, that tells a lot.
hoping that we find them.
It just doesn't look good, but I hope I'm wrong.
Some stories vanish from the headlines before they're ever truly told. When 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack disappeared from their quiet rural home in Nova Scotia, it didn't take long for their community to act. People gathered, they prayed, they wept. Teddy bears and flowers were placed outside the local RCMP detachment like offerings to a tragedy that had no name, no explanation, only silence. Because in this part of the country, children aren't just part of families, they're part of everyone's family. And what?
In the block we lived on when I was growing up, everybody knew us. Running around there which you were. Yeah, the people on the biological side was the one told that he was in the jailhouse and had to come home with a bracelet, a foot bracelet. But they said that Daniel and Malaya is the only ones that could be responsible for it because his presence was not there. I mean, he's in the jailhouse when they claim that they seen the kids in public with the family or with some family member. But again, on the 3rd, she cut out. So,
our police tried to find answers. The people tried to hold on to hope. Candlelight vigils lit the nights. Fundraisers filled town halls. And soon, towering billboards stood watch along the lonely highways.
And another thing that plays factor in here, the ones that's been here a good minute, y'all know for a fact that when I try to reach out to someone, if they are not deceased, 99.9% of the time, we never get no communication. When I called out to Jack and Lily, we did. And Lord knows I'd rather not anything come back and be said. That way I know everything at the moment is still okay. Picking up someone's energy while they're still here in the physical can be done if they're afraid of something bad enough. They can put off so many words, so many thoughts with just their aura. That's how you communicate that way. And everyone has one. Yeah, ghost dad. Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, he wasn't there. He was in jail. Come home on the 2nd. And had to wear that bracelet. I don't know what he's done, but they ain't none of my business. I just want to know where these children are.
Refusing to let the world forget.
Till they get their butt in trouble,
dragged
they're
on,
not going
the
to tell
more it
nothing.
felt like the rest of the country had forgotten. Mainstream media barely covered the story. The Amber Alert system was never triggered.
I think it's mostly a mood of anxiety, maybe, and frustration. They too can't believe that there's not an answer by this long and this many people looking.
Even officials like
Amber
County
Alert.
Warden Robert Parker admitted residents were losing sleep, not just from worry, but from anger. Anger that these two children, so deeply loved by their community, were met with such a hollow response from institutions meant to protect them. And through it all, haunting questions lingered. Why the silence? Why the delay? And most chilling of all, had something far more sinister been missed right from the start? Because when justice hesitates, darkness doesn't. Some cases are cold before they ever go quiet. From the moment Lily and Jack Sullivan vanished, the world split into theories. Maybe they wandered. Maybe they were taken. Or maybe someone never meant for them to be found. The first explanation would...
If authorities would have thought right off the top that they had been kidnapped, there would have been an all of a sudden alert to go to everybody all around the world. And nobody got that. I have got things from here in the United States, alerts that something was happening up in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
I met a 16-month-old baby one time. It still hit my phone. So they are not suspecting kidnapping, period.
It's the simplest. The children had wandered into the woods, lost, scared, confused, but search crews covered over 5 square kilometers with helicopters, dogs, drones, and dozens of trained professionals. According to lost person behavior data, 95% of children ages 4 are located within a 6.5 kilometer radius.
Yeah.
And yet, nothing. No clothing. No remains. Not even a trail. It was as if the forest had swallowed them whole, without leaving a single trace behind. That silence led to a second possibility. Abduction, a stranger, a van. a moment of opportunity.
Or their own.
But there's a
people.
reason why investigators call stranger kidnappings lightning strike crimes. They're rare. And more importantly, there was no evidence
Could
to
be.
support it. No tire tracks, no witnesses, no forced entry. Just a vague timeline and an unsettling amount of
Yeah,
uncertainty.
just a little 6-year-old girl and a little 4-year-old boy just, pack their lunch and just leave to go to the Middle East, I guess. How stupid does that sound? They need to quit him hauling around and go ahead and just tell the truth or just lock them up for neglect. With them claiming that they're just out wandering in the woods and got lost, that's neglect at the least. Go ahead and lock them up. Get it over with. You done got them in there. They ain't helping do nothing now, so they ain't gonna help do nothing later. Lock them up. Let them go before a judge. One of them will start ratting on the other. Yeah, she did. I seen that.
Certainty. Then came the theory that people didn't want to believe but couldn't ignore, that someone inside the home might know more than they've said. Because from the beginning, one detail screamed louder than any siren: the behavior of the mother, Malahia Brooks Murray. She vanished from the public eye just 24 hours after her children did.
24 hours. I don't care who you are, how you are, what you are. Common sense goes a long way. 24 hours, and the mom was gone. Don't that beat the monkey? Yeah, and what I was saying a while ago about the boot print, there were only one set of footprints, and it was apparently hers because it'd been too big for Jack's little feet. Well, with it being only one set of print, if somebody would have walked in the grass area and reached over and put the boot in the trail and pressed down on it with both boots, they would have made a print. But authorities and people have already walked through there. When they come back the second time, that's when they found the footprint. Found undies out there, some other stuff out in the yard that was not there when they looked. Yeah, I mean, it's evident. They cannot be that stupid.
You don't know about that. A lot of people are more stupid than you.
What I'm saying is, though, how in the world could they be paid to be in a search team if they're that ignorant to not look at stuff?
Some people don't think to look closer, even closer than they are supposed to.
What I'm saying is, they claim that Jack and Lily both left at the same time. Okay, well, where's Jack's little old footprint? Okay, where's that at? Where'd that
Unless
come
it
at?
was a rainy day and it got washed away.
It's been raining. It's muddy up there, but it wouldn't have washed the print away.
Sometimes it does.
No, not when I pressed down like that. They was pressed down about an inch and a half, and a child ain't fixing to do that. Where if he walked through there trying to find his children, where's his footprint? Where's Jack's? Why didn't the mom go help search? No, she's too busy packing clothes and left. There ain't nothing he's saying. Yeah, he's doing all this talking, but he ain't telling nothing. That's exactly right. If he was asleep, how would they have known what they did? And why would they not be at least two sets of prints? Where's Jack's? There is none. And like I said, I don't know anybody to be that daggone stupid. I really don't. But, hey, there's no way. I mean, I'm trying to make sense of the deal. On her half of, she left me because, all that went down and she was scared for her own safety, took her and the baby and left. And, or maybe she was that way toward him. I mean, we can't say either way, but the children say both did it. I'm not going to cross up what I've done heard. And there's nobody going to make me believe that these children are not telling the truth. We're talking about a 4-year-old baby. That when he speaks to me, it sounds like he really puts it out there. And you can tell her little voice as well. And they're the ones saying this stuff. Stuff that is just now coming to light through social media, the public. No. There's no way that it could be like they're saying. That dog won't hunt, I'm telling you. If anybody else has got a theory, throw it out here. Because I don't know. That's right. And what did we hear? No good mom. Anger. Maniac. Always anger. Pillow. Lake. Water. Under. I mean, these children are trying to tell it. The female that's speaking for him is trying to tell it, but she's only giving little bits at the time. The gentleman that was speaking on her behalf, he started out pretty good. I don't know if that's from the dad's side or from the mom's side. I don't know. But whoever it is been seeing this all along. They are. Both of them. It ain't just one on this. Here's one that says something about the lie detector test. Let's see what it says real quick. It says, is he lying? Polygraph. But I guarantee it's going to say the same thing. We ain't got no results of it.
Probably.
If that's the case, then we know it's just him not putting it out to the public. I mean, that would help us understand why he's not putting it out to the public. Then it says all items that they found don't belong to kids. How many kids are in the woods with no clothes?
That's true.
From day one, they said they both looked sickly, changed color, which could have been cold or just malnourished. Okay. All right. Could be both. All right. On top of that, then saying clothes wasn't hers, but they blood on her clothes. And it says right there, I wrote it down, blood from Lily. That's why I thought, well, they didn't see these when they first started walking through that trail in the beginning, but now they do. I seen something on his finger look like a scab. He kind of used it and wiped his hand off with it. why would he be touching that kid's undies in the first place? And why would it be laid out for somebody to see? That's about ignorant right there. Exactly, Pamela. That way there was no sound, nothing out of the norm. But we just had one camera showing if they carried anything out. That's all it would take. Yeah. I mean, why are they not DNA tests on the blood, on the undies? Why are they not, see, what was a sock, undies, and something else? I know at least 2 of them items could have DNA on them. Yeah, bloody underwear. Mm-hmm. And why would he be handling her bloody underwear in the first place? And I don't think girls start that young, do they? 8? I mean, 6?
Well, some do develop early.
At 6-year-old?
Some can, some won't. It really depends on the body, not that.
Yeah, would be muddy, not pink anymore. It's because he already knows.
But also, it could also happen even more, or just start happening because they got raped or something like that there too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a dad of 3 girls, and my oldest started when she was 11 years of age. My middlest girl, she started around almost 10, and then my youngest daughter, she started out almost at 10. So I really don't see her starting young at no 6 years of age. It was some kind of, which I can't foul play with that. But if there's a large quantity of blood on the undies, well, it had to be because of something.
Or it could have been because of something else and not that.
You're a girl at 9, huh?
Yeah, see.
But that still ain't 6 years old.
But also though too, it could have been because of something else instead of
That's
that.
what I'm trying to say. But I can't say that there was anything sexual going on with a stepdad or the mom. But if they had people coming over constantly, somebody from there could have did it and caused a ruckus. Mm-hmm. And then next thing you know, everything went south. That could have been the deal. We don't know yet, but I don't believe these children, or she started at 6 years of age. Yeah. No, that dog won't hunt. But and I understand what you're talking about too. If it was something forced, yeah, of course it'd be bleeding. It would ruin her tiny little wound.
Oh yeah.
But now if it comes out something such as that, well, he wouldn't ever make it in prison, no way. But
yeah, no.
I mean, I can't say that's what it is, but I did see a scab on his finger. He could have been bleeding and just picked it up and wiped it off and threw it. But that would be kind of stupid for authorities to come back and start looking and find a pair of undies that belonged to her with your blood stain on it. So there again, I don't know, because I didn't see the underwear. I don't know how much blood was on it. And if it was from her and it would have been something forced, that'd been probably a good bit. Now, again, if this right here goes back and says the same thing, that we just ain't seen no or heard no evidence of the polygraph, then we know it's only him keeping it hid from the public. That's a dead giveaway.
A clue when they said no abduction. That's a big statement to make at this early in the game.
It's been 24 days since Lily and Jack Sullivan were reported missing from their home in Lansdowne Station. Family members have speculated the children were taken, but police have remained adamant they do not believe the siblings were abducted.
Anyone who has dash cam footage or video along Garlick Road between noon on April 28th and noon on May 2nd.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The undies, why didn't they do DNA? I mean, that would come back pretty quick. The sock would have had DNA on it. The only thing really they couldn't fool would be the backpack or whatnot, but the blood on the undies. But it wasn't there when they first started out walking away from the trailer to go into the trails. It wasn't there when they first started. It was there the next time they come and wanted to check the house and start again. That's when it happened. And the footprints. And there was only one set of footprints. Well, where's Jack's? I did see that photo. There were only one set of prints, and they were not Jack's. Somebody planted that set of boot prints out there because there were no adult prints behind it.
He has been interviewed extensively since Lily and Jack were first reported missing.
You mentioned last time we chatted that you'd offered to do a polygraph test.
That is correct.
Has that already happened?
That has happened.
Right. And did you get results from that yet?
Yeah.
I do have results. And I don't know if I can share those results.
You don't know if you can share them results. Would you not be trying to get people to be on your side, saying, okay, well, he passed the polygraph, there's a good chance that he didn't do this? Or is he going to just keep holding in and say, I don't know if I should tell how it went? If that's the way this whole thing plays out, then we know.
Just recently, we
We
learned
know.
a bombshell that the RCMP found footage that confirms that 4-year-old Jack and 6-year-old Lily Sullivan were alive sometime around noon on May 1st, as they were spotted somewhere in Lansdowne Station with family.
Again, nobody has evidence of that. Nobody has evidence that these children were seen. They've not put the footage up for anybody to see if that is correct. Now, if they could show the public that the kids was alive during that time, that'd be a different tale. But they can't because there is no footage of it. Yeah, and when they do that, it just messes up every damn thing. Okay, I don't know if all of you remember or not, but that little girl, Ramsey, John Benet Ramsey, there were so many people coming in and out of the house that it cobbled up the scene.
Mm.
And that's the only reason why the dad and mom and brother are not behind bars today. Good night, love. Because they was messing it up. And that's the only reason. That's the only reason them three are not, well, she done dead, but the mom, but they would have been behind bars.
Though the RCMP will not say where exactly the two siblings were seen on May 1st, I would assume it's quite.
Now, what is that? They will not show where they were seen in public. What kind of nonsense is that crap? Would you not want, if you're the mother and the father, would you not want to see where you could see where your children were alive at that point in time? That's, man, he's on crack. That dog won't
Possible
work.
that the footage came from one of the nearby neighbors via a trail or security camera. As it appears, Lansdowne Station is very rural, and the nearest gas station is an approximately 15-minute drive from their home off Gerlach Road. So I don't think this footage came from a nearby store.
They did?
Just over a week ago, the road behind me was still swarming with search and rescue personnel as RCMP resumed their ground search for 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan, who first went missing 3 weeks ago in Lansdowne Station.
Right.
Now, this has been a story that has dominated headlines across the country and beyond as people speculate and wonder about what could have happened to these two missing children. Now, just because the road is
No, we're not speculating. you nut job. We're just using common sense. So that's the difference. You know, they can try all this junk they want to with all these cryptic words and putting in all that junk bull crap. We're using common sense here. If he does not provide proof that them children were seen on the 1st, then that's a dead giveaway. And they would have a right to that video, the mother and him. Lord have mercy, girl. And if they left their home, it would have been caught on camera at the neighbor. Nobody has said that they crossed the road. Nobody has said that they've done anything. None of the cameras apparently are picking up anything. So either the chips have been taken out of them or just didn't have no chips in them. Maybe one or two, but maybe not facing the ways that they needed it to. Or authority is keeping everything hidden from the public. It's just building their sector up to slam down on Daniel and Malaya. But I would want to do a polygraph and bring it out to the public quick as I could.
Oh.
I know it wouldn't help my butt in court, but I would still say, hey, look, I passed the test. Yeah, claim it just works one day a week. Well, that female said that type of drug. They said crystal, so which is pretty much meth. But I mean, if he's sitting around shaking the bacon, then he's making money left and right.
But it
That's a
doesn't mean
fact.
RCMP are finished with their investigation. In fact, they just put out a statement Wednesday calling on the public for more footage.
Investigators are now asking anyone who has dash cam footage or video along Garlick Road between noon on April 28th and noon on May 2nd to contact Northeast Nova RCMP Major Crime Unit.
They add RCMP are committed to exploring all possibilities in the case and have formally interviewed more than 50 people, with more interviews.
So they're going back to the 21st instead of the 1st. They're going from the 21st all the way to the 2nd of the month. But then the theory of them going missing the day they claimed was just threw out the window. So they're claiming 2 weeks ahead of time to want footage of. So something ain't adding up right there, tall.
Planned in the coming days.
But the fact that they are still focused on days before they were last seen would suggest they could be interested in certain vehicles or persons seen off Gerlach Road between April 28th and May 2nd. Although this is a big update to the case, there has been zero sign or evidence of the siblings since they went missing. After a week into the search and tensions were high as the mother of the 2 children left on day 2, the stepfather Daniel has kept up his appearance in the media and recently said he would take a polygraph test and he wanted others to take one as well. As of late yesterday, early this morning of making this video, he did do another short interview. Here is what Daniel had to say when asked about it.
The children's stepfather, Daniel Martel, says he has been interviewed extensively since Lily and Jack were first reported missing.
You mentioned last time we chatted that you'd offered to do a polygraph test.
That is correct.
Has that already happened?
That has happened.
Right. And did you get results from that yet?
I do have results, and I don't know if I can share those results, but they were good in my favor. We'll say that.
Well,
Imagine sitting on the beach on your
that's here nor there. I don't believe it. Seeing is
without
believing
the
for
additional
me.
call for footage and is again asking anyone with information to come forward. Despite not having had contact with the children's mother, Malaya, since May 3rd when she left the search area, he says an RCMP liaison has been assigned to keep them both informed as the investigation progresses.
Okay, right there. Is the law that they have to keep them informed. Where is seeing these babies on the 1st? Why is that not being talked about? If he passed a photograph, logic would be to not say, well, it played in my favor. It would be to say, I passed. Not saying that he's wondering if I was supposed to tell it or not. I've never heard of that. Only if they're not in cahoots with one another.
Mm-hmm.
That bus driver may do things with them and keep it on the sideline. Corrupt can be through anyone. Proof is seeing. We don't know to take that bus driver's word because they use that small percentage that she could be getting things from there. If that's what's going on from what they said, then should be no reliable witness. That's why I think they're not taking her or whoever the bus driver is too serious with it. Exactly. You hit it right on the head, Sabina. Perfect.
CRCMP word, and I mean, you don't have to trust my word, but
we don't.
I'm the only one doing media for Jack and Lily, trying to keep the story alive and get them found.
Now he wants to be praised because he's the only one talking on camera, but he's the one that can't hold still or look dead in the eye of you.
According to RCMP, any future searches will be determined based on the course of the investigation. They say they've covered a 5.5 kilometer search area and received 355 tips so far in the search for Lily and Jack Sullivan.
To Daniel's credit, he did allegedly keep his word by following up and doing a polygraph test. He has kept up his appearance in the media, whereas the mother has not. Now, that doesn't mean she is.
Oh, I meant paperwork. Grandma was there. Lied. It's fake. He faked it. So yeah, Grandma was there. Everything that they're trying to come up with or say, we've done got it. Yeah, she does. But see, the trouble over is, we've done got all this information before any of that ever started coming out. So I'm going to stick to the guns and believe these children. And I guarantee you, they're not wrong.
Automatically guilty, but it still raises major concerns. Also, it did seem like Daniel did hesitate to answer the question about the results.
Results from that yet?
I do have results, and I don't know if I can share those results, but they were good in my favor, we'll say that.
Keep in mind, polygraph tests are not 100% accurate, and it's even possible that Daniel got an inconclusive, which is neither a pass or a fail, and are common to receive, and Daniel could still say it was favorable, as technically it's not a fail. Let me know what you think about his answer in the comments below.
Are you full of crap?
One of the biggest concerns I have, and I'm sure most of the community as well about this case, is the fact that the mother left on day 2 and was allegedly pointing the finger at Daniel for being involved, yet she claimed they were both in bed.
What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they happened to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens.
They just happen to get out that sliding door. They just happen to.
Right. Sound like kids.
They not know that there's a front door to the trailer too? How they know? If the screen, if the glass.
And they were outside playing, but we weren't.
Let me go back on that, and y'all really listen. If y'all got earbuds on, put them on. Listen to this. Let me explain to you what I'm fixing to say here. She said, now this is Malaya's tale. I said on mine. Y'all probably need to say it on y'all too. She said, I was drifting in and out of sleep. They happened to go out the sliding door. They were outside playing. If she was going in and out of sleep, how would she know they're outside playing? Does anything that she just said make sense? Listen to this, and then y'all tell me.
I don't know if I can share those results, but they were good in my favor. We'll say that.
Keep in mind, polygraph tests are not 100% accurate, and it's even possible that Daniel got an inconclusive, which is neither a pass or a fail, and are common to receive, and Daniel could still say it was favorable, as technically it's not a fail. Let me know what you think about his answer in the comments below. One of the biggest concerns I have, and I'm sure most of the community as well about this case, is the fact that the mother left on day 2 and was alleged.
And remember, I say this all the time, even when I'm doing sessions for you guys. Don't listen to what they're saying. Listen to how it's. Listen real close. She's finna give it away right here.
Pointing the finger at Daniel for being involved, yet she claimed they were both in bed.
What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they happened to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And then
Now make that make sense to me.
It sounds like she is not
Make
fit to be a mother.
if that's not neglect, what is it? But how would she know that they were outside playing if she's in and out of sleep?
Mm-hmm.
She didn't say I got up and I looked and my kids was outside and I just went on back to bed. That would have been more common than anything. She didn't. She plainly said right there, we were in and out of sleep. We heard them playing in the room next to us. They went outside and was playing because you can't hear the door open. If she was in and out of sleep, how does she know that these children were outside? Make that make sense to me.
Unless she has a camera set up outside, just motion activated.
They can't even spell camera. No sense at all. Yeah, said couldn't hear the door, but yet they claimed to start with that gun door wasn't even open.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, Sabina. Exactly. Why is authorities not and detectives or whatnot, if they even got any detectives on it, why are they not putting this together? I mean, we're sitting here right now putting it together. It's not what somebody says, it's just how they say it. And she just told on themselves, him and her. And now that she said that, she cut loose, got out of there. That's a bunch of crap. Yeah. That was the lamest, dumbest, stupidest, idiotic thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh my goodness. If I was in a brand new house that didn't have to have no WD-40 on the door and you just quiet, I would still know if my children walked outside, I don't care if I was in the bed or not, with a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, they're not going to be quiet going out the door to start with. They're going
quiet in general.
No, they're going to be a playing and a carrying on and bumping this and bumping that and waking you up before they ever get to the door.
They need all of us to go to Canada. Is what Sabina said.
Yeah, I mean, this is stupid, and it needs to be addressed quick, fast, and in a hurry, because she plainly just told on both of them right there. Yes, exactly, Sabina. I mean, this is stupid. If she cared anything about her children, any of them, she would have never left. And logic tells me that her caring about her children is just a show put on. That in all reality, she don't care about nobody but herself. And the only way she's going to show that is if she gets in hot water.
Hey, Lynn.
Hey, Lynn. Hey, yours will be there Tuesday, just like Connie.
There's something I was gonna say.
Yeah, we've been waiting for you to come on so we could tell you. They don't need to, but with them throwing people off, that's what it leads to. Becky, if they keep on, then that's what they'll all do. They'll slip side and quit. And next thing you know, it's a cold case. She just told on her and him. And if FBI, CIA, whoever, Child Protective Services, whatever, heard her speak right there, and that was in the very beginning because she left the very next day, she told on both. The children are saying they both did it. I'm going to stick with believing the children. Okay. Bless you, love. Yes, they need to be interrogated separately where they can still get no agreement between neither one of them. And just go ahead and have them there and be like, okay, well, this is neglect. If they would go back to that very first interview, tells it all. Right there. Plain and simple. Yes, bless you, love.
Next thing we knew, it was quiet, and we get up, and I tell him, my partner, Daniel.
On day 2.
She says, my partner. Daniel. Listen to that. Listen to how she says it. My partner, but Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to that.
And was allegedly pointing the finger at Daniel for being involved, yet she claimed they were both in bed.
What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they happened to just get out that sliding door, and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but
if they can't hear the glass door opening because they're asleep, how can they hear the children outside playing?
Great question.
Again, telling on themselves. How many times we got to keep closing this case? Every few words she's saying is she's telling on herself. And they are a third person. Listen to how she speaks of this before she mentions Daniel.
we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew,
Right there, she told on herself again. We wasn't aware of it. But yet, she knows that they were in another room playing. They went out the door, and they was outside playing. But we wasn't aware of it. But they know that's what happened. Okay, nobody on the face of this earth tell me that makes sense. But watch how she almost leaves Daniel out of it.
was quiet, and we get up and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? They happen to just get out that sliding door and we can't hear it when it opens.
It's coming up right here.
And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet, and we get up and I tell him, my partner.
Tell him, my partner.
Daniel. I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no. And we get up instantly.
So there's both. She said, I asked him, do you hear the children? He says no. And then she already claimed that she couldn't hear him. I mean, just listen to that.
Drifting in and out of sleep. And they happen to just get out that sliding door and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet, and we get up and I tell him, my partner, Daniel.
There's a third person there. She was not going to say Daniel to start with.
Tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And
The other red flag.
The other red flag, are you stupid? I don't know who uploaded this, but whoever uploaded this needs to go find them a hole to jump in, because she's told on herself 4 times sitting here, me listening to it. How many times do we need to close this case? She wasn't even going to say him. She was talking about another feller. And see, that's probably where the Josie come in and got all this here all crumbled up crap and started going down south.
Oh, yeah.
And we talked about that earlier, too. She was not going to say Daniel. She said, my partner. But then she said, I asked him, do you hear the kids? No. But yet she's already said that she knows the kids was up playing, went out the glass door, and was outside playing. Why would you have to ask somebody else what you heard? Make that make sense to me.
It don't.
Exactly. That's how dumb. That is how dumb. Whoever, I don't like to throw nobody on the bus, but I'm going to. Whoever uploaded that and did not catch it, they need to go back to bed and stay off social media.
Well, whoever uploaded it, I can tell you right now, they did a voiceover to it.
Yeah. Well, whoever it was is not catching nothing. And that is stupid. I have said right here, within 6 minutes of an 8-minute video, I've caught her in 4 lies. 4. How many times we got to keep closing this case? I don't know. Maybe some of his family, maybe his brother or something. I don't know. But she definitely was not going to say Daniel. And however that played out, that went south quick. Because apparently he caught that too, that she said that. He may have not knew at the time, but then watched that clip and seen what she said. And then once he heard it, that's why she left. Hey, MZ, how you doing? Brother Little Grandma? Well, then he was in and out there all the time.
Hey, MZ.
Is that both seemed pretty adamant that Lily and Jack could have been abducted, but RCMP have been vocal.
How could they know if they were abducted?
They're making assumptions. That's what that is. They're making assumptions.
How much more stupid do you need to get? Hey, look, no.
So far that they claim there is no evidence to support an abduction.
We've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued, not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been.
It's almost like the mother is trying to tell the public something as if she may know more but can't.
Do you reckon? I have to say, whoever did this is just dumb. Okay, dumb. If you cannot catch them lies right there, something's wrong. But see, that's where they don't take the time to listen. If they really wanted to do their jobs up there, they could have already 6 minutes and 27 seconds ago, in the very first video clip of them speaking in an interview, could have already been locked up for neglect without any hinges. Yeah, exactly. These poor little babies and them up here worrying about themselves and getting herself all tongue-tied while they're doing it. She just almost gave it away right there. Just like that, almost.
Quite tell us.
But
I
I
do
know
believe
why
it's
she
quite
run off.
possible that this alleged party could have happened, and perhaps she's seen something shady.
This party. Listen to this. Just listen. I'm not trying to be just only funny, but well, yeah, I am, because they're stupid. But listen to this right here. How many times did I write down the word party?
A lot.
It's almost like the mother trying to tell the public something as if she may know more but can't quite tell us. I do believe it's quite possible that this alleged party could have happened, and perhaps she's seen something shady in a person.
In a person. She was, again, how many times I got to keep closing this case? At first, she was not going to say Daniel. She said, my partner.
Mm-hmm.
Are they not listening to this crap?
Clearly not.
I've seen some stupid people in my time, but this here takes the cake. It really does. You know, Dunn and Candace didn't even act up. That's stupid. I mean, yeah, they were ignorant, but this here is blown out of proportion.
Sorry if you hear me laughing. It's just the way he words it. I find funny.
I can't help it. When stupid is as stupid does, the way I say it. But look, I've caught her in 7 lies within 6 minutes, 34 seconds.
That's just so far.
Why in the hell are they not locked up right now for neglect? Do they think that they're just fixing to talk about it? No, they're not. If they were locked up, they would talk about it. They would tell, because she would tell on him. And then he gonna get mad because there's a third party in there. And that's why she left, because she knowed she'd fit to get it. I guarantee you.
Or persons may take in the children sometime in late night or early morning of May 2nd.
So even if somebody else took the kids, that camera would have seen them go into the vehicles. There's no evidence of that happening. There's no proof. The only thing we've got proof in the pudding of is what she's saying, not what this numbnut is saying, trying to talk over them right here. The voiceover, that's not working because he is not listening to what's being said. And
I still also go back to this interview with the neighbor and the response she gave about getting trail, dash, and other security footage. As it appears, they could have gotten answers sooner to other possible scenarios, such as an abduction or some other kind of foul play.
I did mention to them that I was very
if a big if. If someone would sit down with apparently the worst investigator of United history, and I'm sure none of them step off Mayflower, so the ones here present now. If someone sat down with one and pointed these fractions out, him and her would be sitting in the jailhouse singing like a bird. And she cut out because she knows her little butt got caught. Okay. Now, yeah, I'm country, but I got a little common sense. Her butt's in hot grass with him. And then she throws all the crap over on him. Well, no, that dog won't hunt. It ain't just him. It wouldn't surprise me if some of this stuff wasn't set up to begin with. But now we know the motive of her leaving. He probably turned around and said, "Look, I'll take you out too now for what you did." You can't nowadays. You can't do that. You get caught cheating, and you will get killed. They need to stop and start thinking. And it ain't just a fairy tale. It happens in real life. This is stupid. Within 6 minutes and 55 seconds, I have done found them neglectful in any way you could think of. Yeah. Yeah. You hit it on the head right there, Pamela. You're correct. That's exactly what happened.
Very happy to see them and glad that they.
And the response she gave about getting trail, dash, and other security footage, as it appears they could have gotten answers sooner to other possible scenarios, such as an abduction or some other kind of foul play.
I did mention to them that I was very happy to see them and glad that they were canvassing a little further and looking at trail cam footage. And they did respond saying that they probably should have been around earlier.
It does all.
Authorities. And yes, I'm talking about Canadian authorities. This neighbor just said out of her own mouth that they should have got there earlier. But there's a catch to that saying. She's not saying what happened to the cam footage for a reason. They said to her, yeah, they should have come earlier. If they would have come earlier, maybe they would have found chips in them cameras. She knows that the chips in them cameras were already taken out. Not a good neighbor.
Also make me wonder, did this neighbor know more about the activities that go on at the Sullivan home?
What did I just say? What did I just say? We're going to close this case about 20 times tonight. Did I not just say that? She's in cahoots. Yeah. And I'll tell you another little word that I did not write down that I've been hearing, and that's the word shed. I went back and listened. There were several times, because I didn't really catch it saying shed until I went back and listened. I don't know how many times I heard the word shed. nobody is trying to help with these children. Nobody. Now, the ones that's out there searching around, it's not that is not authority, but just people in the search. They're just left in the dark. They're just chasing their tail. That's all they're doing. Because it ain't going to do them a dime bit of good being out there. They need to go on home. They need to bring out some cadaver dogs and go ahead and find these children. Because they can find them very, very quickly. The neighbor is not reliable. Her family is not reliable. His family is not reliable. That's why I went through the spirit box. They're only giving us little pieces. They don't want each other's people to get in trouble. But they need to throw that to the side and be like, okay, they need to be held accountable for. And they're not wanting to accept that. That's why every once in a while when these children have a little spurt of energy, just enough to say something, that's all we're getting. Exactly. These poor little children. Well, I counted how many times I heard the word shed, and I heard it 31 times. And I kind of threw that out because I thought, well, maybe summer is just to say something about the shed again and it coming out from the little female's voice. It's what the way I took it. It could have been her. But then again, we know Summer and Rose tries to help with any missing person, especially children. And yeah, it could be Summer saying the shed, just mimicking that child's voice. If that's the case, then they need to go grab some shovels, remove the shed. There you go again. The neighbor knew it. The neighbor had footage of every bit of it. But before authorities could come, she took the chips and did away with them. If not, everything would have been on camera. Everything. Because they were 4 cameras pointed directly in their area. They would have seen every vehicle leaving. Some of the other cameras were facing straight down, so it would have went right alongside the road. But no footage. And I've heard party. Well, I'm going to look here in a minute. See just how many times. I heard party so many times that I quit even writing that down. Everything that we've got, everything, is everything that's done been said and is going to be said. We've done all we can do for these children. Because these deceased loved ones will not continue to tell on one another. They won't do it. When it all comes out to wash, we'll already have all the facts right here. I've said it a million times. If people would shut the hell up, close your mouth, open your ears, These missing teens and children, these little bitty babies, will tell you their own story. That is why I don't understand when authorities say they will take every bit of evidence into consideration.
And most of the time they
That
don't.
that is a damn lie.
Mm-hmm.
This paperwork right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 pages tells these children's last days. Huh?
And that's probably, there's probably some more over here too.
Well, it might be. This is nobody's fault except for authorities. They should be equipped enough to listen to how something's being said. They should have an authority to be able to lock these two up until one sings like a bird on the other. That's the only way that they're going to stop all this with children. And I'm sure as we speaking right now, there's children out there getting treated the same way. That's why I always want a clip of something. Within the first paragraph, I can tell you whether they're the ones that did it or not. How many lives is involved? Paranormal is not my only best thing of me. I listen. I can hear something and then I'll play it back in my mind. And I know where the gaps are. I've just proved here on live footage, a 7 minute and 10 seconds in, we've done closed the case 14 times. With enough to hold these two accountable for the missing babies. And that's what they are. They're neither one old enough to be held accountable for knowledge. And that's a damn shame. When all it would take is just a few minutes of somebody quit wanting money and fame and just sit and listen. No. This was the very first interview of the whole deal. And it's all right there in front of their face. These children are right there under their nose. They know it. The neighbor knows it. Side of the family knows it. Maybe not so much of his family, but hers for sure. See, we never admit it to his family, but I'm sure she's through there. And she got out of the water before it got hot because she knows what she did. I don't care how angry you are. You don't need to take what your problem and your spouse or whoever and put all your anger from that onto children. These children didn't deserve that. If you got a problem with somebody, separate. Get the hell away from one another, but don't damage children in the process. However them two play out, that is going to fall on the children. And now, as you see, it did. That's the way it is everywhere. No matter what we do as an adult, it reflects down to our children. Oh,
and if she
Lord.
has personally seen any kind of shady stuff or parties going on. As of making this video, it appears the RCMP are focused on securing more footage and conducting more interviews before doing any more searches. The drone footage you are watching comes from the channel Detective Myers. I will have a link to his channel in the description below, as it appears to be several minutes of drone footage which is flying around the Sullivan property, and more, as you never know, you may see something in the extended footage. As soon as there are any more updates, I will do another video or go live.
Well, next time you get ready to do a video, learn yourself. I mean, oh, never mind. I got it right here.
What?
I got it right. I'm so wound up. "23 times party was said, and more, because I got tired of writing it down. Shed was said over and over and over and over. I just don't understand why authorities are not more receptive of not caring about other people's feelings, which they show every day because they try to abuse their authority. Well, now would be a good time for them to do that sort of thing. Get them into jailhouse. And I'm telling you, they would sing like a parrot. I know she would, because she would think that they would hold him forever, and she would get out at some point in time and wouldn't have to deal with him. She's definitely had someone else to be involved with her situation. And I'm pretty sure that's what's got him heated, with him being angry. That's probably what set it off. And now the children has taken the wrath of it. I did. I asked that. I said, have they even got clothes? And I heard that female say, yeah. But when I asked that, is the day that they were going to start back at the house and start back out toward the trail. And see, that's the way they're going. Every time they're going straight into that trail and start looking at through there. And then a few go over here and walk down that side of that creek. There's none going all the way around clockwise. But that's the throw off, you see. That's the throw off. The clothes, this and that, footprints. That's throwing them away from their own spot, their own home, the yard, everything around is all good. Where they need to be looking is right there in that vicinity. So once they take foot in that first step in the woods, ain't doing them a damn bit of good. No. They need to rethink. There's a piece of equipment that I seen with my own two eyes. It looks kind of like a push mower, but it's got a depth finder in it, and it works through dirt up to 8 feet And that's how they find soldiers and whatnot to be brought and put into a good place. They could do the same thing there on that property, and everything could just be settled from there. They can't tell me that they can't do this. I've seen it. I know how it works. And it's the perfect thing to find these babies with. But they'll bring cadaver dogs in. It probably wouldn't take long away. What a lot of people don't understand is a service dog, they're trained for maybe 3 to 4 things. They're not looking for things that's underneath. If they do have one that can smell maybe a foot or so under, you're lucky. And they'll lay down wherever that's at. That's how they sign for it. But they are equipment. Like I said, look just like a push mower. And it will show a grave. It will show bones. It will show everything. Even the button on the uniforms. As much as 6 to 8 feet deep. I don't understand why they're not. They say we're exhausting all our sources, but they're not. They are not doing their job completely. They have this equipment to do it, and they're just not doing it. It's too much time consuming. It's too much work in it. Yeah, I mean, y'all right. Y'all right. Perfect. They got enough calls right here, like I said, in the first interview to hold these accountable for neglect and not let go until they start singing or go ahead and tell what happened. Yeah, I mean, a service dog, they have to be really good if they do that. But and I've seen it time or two, but it's very rare. They need cadaver dogs, or either go get them a good old bloodhound. And I guarantee you, they let that dog sniff some stuff with either one of them children. It won't make no difference if they're in water. They'll lay down right where they're at. And that's how they sign for it. You know it's there when they lay down. None of you took your comment down? Well, hey, Carol. Good night, love. We got to get off here too and lay down. Done been on here for 2 hours, daggone it. I guess you too. Need to start back at the property. I love y'all, and I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm not even sure how the heck I'm still sleeping.
I
I already slept a lot.
don't know.